Do it! Okay. Everybody just calm down.
Count of three, we're all gonna put down our guns.
I have crossbows.
We'll put down our weaponry on the count of three.
Okay.
You ready?
I'm ready.
1, 2,
2,
3.
Maybe this replay will show us some pushing and shoving, and Aaron Donald got into it with Devontae Freeman. Flags flew, as you see the great concentration by Littleton, who we've mentioned a couple of times in this game. Okay, here's the scuffle we're talking about. Face masks being grabbed. It's Devontae Freeman, who's not a big guy, against Aaron Donald, who most certainly is a big, strong, tough guy. Takedown by the official. Look at this one, though. Donald and Freeman head-to-head, and then Donald lifts him up like Darth Vader did to the insubordinate general in Star Wars. Just lifts him right up off his feet.
Yeah, so we definitely, it looks like they're talking about it, and anytime we've got a situation like that where there's an altercation, New York can get involved, and you can potentially disqualify players. I didn't see anything that was egregious, but obviously there was a lot of stuff going on. I think we're probably going to end up with fouls on both teams here. But again, the folks in New York can look at this, and they can eject if they see something flagrant.
In addition, 24 of the offense is disqualified for throwing a punch. It'll be second down at the 16-yard line.
That's what you called. He threw, and I understand it. I've been there before where someone else has control. If you look at him, his feet are off the ground. That's very frustrating.
And a first down at the 35-yard line. Double reverse, triple reverse. Garrett Goff throws this side, and it's Cooper Kupp down the sideline. Kupp to the 15, the 10, the 5, touchdown. "65 yards.
What a quick strike by the Los Angeles Rams, and you got to feel bad for B.W. Webb. The corner for the Bengals ends up slipping and falling. He's in position. I thought there was a missed opportunity of Higbee running down the middle of the field. Instead, Goff goes outside to Kupp, and you saw Webb on the ground, not able to regain his.
What is up, Ramley? So the Rams, since I've last made a video, have played the Atlanta Falcons and have played the Cincinnati Bengals. So I'm going to make this semi-long, but enough to get really in depth with all this stuff. So since then, Marcus Peters has gone out to the Ravens, and then Jalen Ramsey has come in. We've been kind of rolling with Troy Hill for a little bit, and he's actually done a decent job, not to the point where he's getting interceptions or any big plays, but he's covering his guy well enough to the point where our pass rush actually gets after the quarterback. And I've been very, very excited from what I've seen from Dante Fowler the past 2 weeks. Went out like a beast against the Atlanta Falcons, who have been very poor this year. To me, they're the most talented team with the worst record. Like, they suck. And it's been a while since it beat the damn Atlanta Falcons. Like, we've been beating teams we haven't beaten years. We haven't beat the Bengals since 2003. We haven't beat the Atlanta Falcons since I can remember. Maybe like since the years of the Greatest Show on Turf. Because I know that one year Michael Vick basically whooped our ass the whole game, man. So it's been a while. So we're doing things now that we haven't done in a while. But the fact that the Rams are getting a decent pass rush after the quarterback has been amazing so far. Now offensively, ever since Atlanta game and this game, we've actually been able to protect Jared Goff. And Jared Goff has been decent, man. Jared Goff has been really, really good the last two weeks. We have been playing bad teams, but that's what all these other teams are doing, and everybody was hyping them up. So I'm just kind of excited to where once we stop playing the hard teams, our team will be back and healthy, which is something that hasn't happened. And from what I've heard, the Rams have also been thinking about trading Aqib Talib just to save up some cap room, because I'm guessing we're going to be rolling with Troy Hill the rest of the way. So I'm not sure how realistically that is, but that's what the Rams are going to do. If that's what the Rams are going to do, then we're going to have to go with it. So the Rams' offense has been great. I mean, you look at the way that Cooper Kupp burned the Bengals for like 220 yards, man. And it might even be more than that. 220 something yards, or maybe 30. This game was basically Cooper Kupp against that Bengals secondary. And we protected Jared Goff just enough to the point where we can actually give him some time to throw the football down the field. And he was finding Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods constantly. Even Gerald Everett was being a big target the last couple of weeks. So the Rams offense, it's rolling, man. The running game kind of sucks, though. I mean, I have actually more excitement for Darrell Henderson than I do Todd Gurley, because Todd Gurley is playing like straight ass cheeks since last year, man, and it's been that way for a while already. So he's more of a backup now, and Darrell Henderson is more of the starter. Even though they're trying to work Todd Gurley out, he's unable to make those cuts that he was able to do in the last season. So we're trying to see what we can do with Todd Gurley, if he's just going to be a guy to block in certain ways, because he does a good job of protecting Goff and play action passes down the field, or if he's more of a screen kid. But I actually have more excitement watching Darrell Henderson now. Wide receivers are great. Like I said, Cooper Kupp is, I think, leading the league in yards right now. It's crazy. And I think I'm actually going to save that topic. He's been good, but I'm going to save the topic I was about to talk about and make a video, because we do have a bye week coming up, and then we play the Steelers, so I'm going to make that last. But he's been really, really good, and I'm going to, maybe talk about the haters that he had prior to the draft and then now, seeing how everybody looks at Cooper Kupp. But offense, we're getting our mojo back. We got the Steelers next, who have a really good defensive front, but have been struggling in scoring points. So we got them after a bye week. And then our pass rush has been great. Aaron Donald has been a wrecking ball. And then you have Michael Brockers, who had a sack against the Falcons and has been decent in the run game. And then you have Dante Fowler and Okoronkwo, a guy that I've been wanting to see, has been pretty good in the third and fourth quarter. And he gets after the quarterback, man. He makes their lives miserable, and that's what I like about our pass rushers. Now, linebackers, though, Corey Littleton's my dog, and he's done a good job. But who else is going to step up? I know that we picked up that Kenny Young guy from the Ravens, but he hasn't came in. And then we have like some guy named Reeder and some guy named Bryce Hager. Like, come on, Rams, you got to get some better linebackers, because we got to be able to get after the run game. And they're not able to do that. We were able to put in guys like Taylor Rapp in there to maybe come in for passing play or stopping the run. But ever since we got John Johnson hurt, it's kind of minimized what we can do with Taylor Rapp. And that's where we're at. He's actually starting now. And he's done a decent job of being... a good pass coverage safety, and then also a really good run stopper. But our guy's John Johnson. That's the guy. He's one of the best players on our defense that no one talks about and is being missed right now. We just happen to be playing very bad teams. That's probably the reason why we haven't really seen Taylor Rapp get burnt down the field. But he's done a good job for this rookie. He's been, to me, the defensive rookie of the year. One guy that I really want to see, though, and one reason that we're struggling to stop the run, is Greg Gaines. This guy was an award-winning defensive tackle, more known for stopping the run, and he actually, in the Pac-12, playing out of Washington, he was seen as the best defensive tackle in the Pac-12. The Rams end up drafting him, I think, in the 4th or 5th round, and they're not even playing the guy. We have Sebastian Joseph Day, who's getting pushed around constantly when he's on the field, and that's one thing that I've been noticing is Sebastian Joseph Day sucks ass. He sucks. He gets moved around. He doesn't have like that fight in him, and it's very rare when he actually gets a tackle for loss, a sack, or is even there to stop him at the line of scrimmage. Like, that's how poor he's been. He's basically been just a guy that they plugged in. But I mean, when you got a guy like Greg Gaines, like, come on, you guys, like, put this guy in, especially when these teams aren't that good, and see how he does against the run. And he was actually used a lot in the Niners game when we actually held him under 100 yards rushing. And for some dumb reason, I'm not sure whether that's going to be a McVay thing or if that is a call for Wade Phillips, but they need to pull the plug on Sebastian Joseph Day and put Greg Gaines in there. That guy is a little bowling ball, man. Like, if Aaron Donald is a wrecking ball, Greg Gaines is a bowling ball. He is a dude. I'm telling you, to stop the run, he is the answer. That's why he was drafted, and we do not use him for what the reason he was drafted for. Other than that, this defense is rolling well. This team is playing top-notch football, and we're not really seeing how good they can be, because I feel like they kind of give the veterans on the team a little too much time to prove themselves. And to me, if you haven't proved yourself by now, you're not going to prove yourself anymore. That's just my opinion. And, to me, that's one of the things about the Rams is they haven't really been able to utilize the majority of their talent on the team because they've been giving these guys way too much time to prove themselves, and it's not giving the young guys on the team any reps. And especially a guy like Greg Gaines, he needs to play, man. This guy is too good to be on the bench collecting dust. And if you guys haven't followed me on Twitter, please follow me on Twitter, especially if you're on YouTube, man, because I like talking about sports on especially Rams football on Twitter. And you guys will see that I am the biggest hyper. I hype up this guy like no one else. Corey Littleton and Greg Gaines. Those are the two guys I hype up. I don't talk about anybody else on the defense like I do those two guys. Offensively, I've been a Bobby Evans fan. I see him as more of a Roger Saffold type, but ever since they put in David Edwards and he's been playing really well, I've kept my mouth shut. So I left it at that. But when it comes to Greg Gaines, the dude is a beast. And I really hope they actually play the guy, because I think he's going to be the answer in the playoffs. Like, if we roll with Sebastian Joseph Day, like, let's say Goff has a bad day, we can't run the ball well, we can't throw the ball, and we're relying on our defense, and we're getting ran on, we're going to lose in the playoffs. So we have to find the answer prior to getting into the end of the year so we can play these difficult teams, man, because if we can't beat Seattle and if we can't beat the Niners, then there's no hope. And that's where the Rams are at right now. The Rams are basically the team that has a bunch of question marks in the NFC West, but we're so far doing well. And it's kind of weird because prior to winning the last two games, a lot of the Rams fans were looking at this team and saying, man, this team is not going to the playoffs. And now we're 5-3. We still have time and, room to improve. We can still make trades. We can still maybe plug in guys that we drafted into roles that we thought were going to be good ones. Like the same way that they use Taylor Rapp. They plug him in as a hybrid linebacker and as a safety, and he does a really good job of coming in and covering, tight ends or other running backs in the passing game. Or he's just a zone kind of safety, but playing as a linebacker in third down. And then he's playing as a starting safety. Like, why can't we do that with Greg Gaines? That's all I'm saying. Like, they're not going to run over us. He's a big body. He's like basically another Michael Brockers at the nose tackle position. That's how I look at him. Like, Michael Brockers doesn't get a lot of sacks, but guess what? He doesn't get pushed around like a rag doll at the line of scrimmage, and that's what we need. We need another Michael Brockers, and that's what Greg Gaines gives you. All right, Ramley, so let me know what you guys think. These were two games that I called that we would win, and not only that, too, but I also said that we would beat the Steelers, and then after that's after the bye, and then we would play the Bears. So I said that we would get 7-3, and we would have to win those to be even considered a playoff team. Like, we might be a wild card team, But since we have 2 other teams in our division that are playing decent football and they're above us when it comes record-wise, we have to keep winning games we're supposed to win. Like, I would not be surprised if the NFC West has 3 10-win teams. Like, that's going to be a situation we might see ourselves in. But we have to make sure that we beat our opponents that we can beat, and then also our divisional rivals. So that's where we're at right now. I'm going to make a couple little videos, in the next week or so, especially after a bye week, because I think this is like our mid-season. So we should basically recap the first half of our season into this bye week and things that I actually feel interested in talking about. So let me know what you guys think. Until next time, you guys, go Rams.
Don't you cry, you bastard. You are a worthless human being. If you shed a tear, you are worthless.